And I think what's interesting, what Tiffany's outlined here, is you're very specific on the role that each of those groups play. And when we think about women's own career development, we do something almost similar. We teach women how to build a board of advisors. It's not just the mentor, which is a very powerful piece. It's the sponsor who talks about you when you're not in the room, right? It's your connector who knows how to connect you to all the people. It's your point expert. It's your friend who you can cry and show all of your warts to and still get up and move forward. So building a board of advisors, building your connections with a very specific role in mind is also a way to encourage you to get beyond where you normally go and bring in new information and new perspectives. Yeah.
The point person, what was it called again?
The point
Blair?
expert.
The point expert. Now, what does this person do?
So for me, imagine me being a finance and marketing individual going to Cisco, and I had to explain to investors the backplane of a Catalyst 6500 router. That just simply didn't roll off my tongue. But I found my point expert in engineering where I could go to, and I could get the information because I knew it had a huge impact on the reputation, the value, the competitiveness when I was a spokesperson for the company. So in many cases in our careers, having a point expert, someone who really knows your industry, your discipline, your background better than anyone else is as important as that mentor who might help you navigate your career, or that sponsor who will stand up for you when you're not in the room, or that friend who you can say, oh my gosh, look what I just did. I need to get this out and I don't want to go anywhere else but my safe friend. So it's a very important piece of where you can bring in additional information and perspectives and learn and grow.
And sometimes you may not have the contact to that point expert yet. So the first step is how do you find them?
Great point.
Okay. And so the first step is to think, what problem am I trying to solve? And how could I design this problem in a way to find networks outside of my own to help me solve it? So in the Colgate example, they went outside. They went outside and found the physicists that they didn't have a connection with, and then realized that their question was wrong altogether. They were asking it as a chemistry problem. So, you know, part of it is to ask yourself 3 questions. What problem am I solving? Who else might care about this?
Exactly, because I might not be the only one.
Exactly. There's a great story about the Cheetos brand, where the spicy hot Cheetos, they're delicious. The idea came from the janitor. No one had ever asked for the janitor's ideas, but they had an innovation event, and the idea for spicy hot Cheetos came from the janitor, because we all have the access to ideas, but we have to create spaces to allow people to share them. And then by doing that, find the best one. So whether you're starting out at MetLife or you're a senior executive, you can use simple principles, walking around the office and asking who else might be able to solve this problem, asking on Yammer, how could we engage? Spending 10 minutes online on a different platform, whether it's Quora or Mogul or any others, or Landit, asking people a question that they might be able to help solve. And actually, by doing that, by engaging outside of where we usually go, we often realize that our greatest sources of help are where we least expect them.
I actually did that at Mogul, whereby when I was first starting the business, I thought about what I needed to know better and who was the top person in the industry that I could bring on board to help me in that subject matter. So I thought, okay, a media business is operations, finance, strategy, content, marketing, distribution, et cetera. So, you know, I thought, okay, so in terms of marketing, who could I bring on board? Who better than the chairman of Hearst magazines, the former chairman, who had launched brand after brand after brand. So I reached out to her by writing a quick note that couldn't be declined, saying, you know, could we have a 5-minute call or a 15-minute tea? When you write such a note, it's very hard to say no. And so as a result, met with her, and then all of a sudden she stepped onto our board. And then same thing, operations. I thought, who's the best operations person? The COO of BBC. I knew she had been there for so long. I reached out to her, cold emailed, then all of a sudden brought her on board. And then one by one did that again and again. The founder of Match.com for scaling and traction, the head of technology and product from Washington Post, and then same thing again with content, the chief creative officer of AOL, et cetera, bringing them on, always using the same email, saying, you know, that I loved their work, would love to meet for that 5-minute call or 15-minute tea, and then built that personal board of advisors that you were referring to.
And that they took the time. I mean, so many times we get the ask, and I know that, you know, senior executives hear a lot from people. I think you were also offering something, Tiffany, to them. Yes, you wanted to learn from them, but were they aware of this platform that services 18 million women? So through that, it sounds like connectional intelligence is also an exchange. It's not just the ask
really
and the get, but it's an exchange that really enriches the relationship.
It was definitely the final part of the email was always saying at the end of the day, I can't wait to support their initiatives, and I was always offering that in the note. And so I think that is definitely the final clincher to getting that meeting that could change your life.
Right, so you were willing to say, I want to give something, I want to support what you're doing, not, can you come talk to me and help me out, but how can I connect and support you on what you're doing?
Exactly.
Is that at the heart of connectional
senior
intelligence?
executive receives 30,000 emails
Oh my
a year.
goodness.
Wow.
The typical manager burns 16 hours a week managing their inbox. We are overloaded with requests for connections.
Yes.
The key skill is how are we connectionally intelligent around engaging with people? And that all starts with where is there a mutual benefit?